Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Year Zero. On top, left-hand corner, the blue Zerg, representing the 3D clan, it is B. His opponent, the top right-hand corner, representing Alpha X, Pizza Pie Monster, it is Star Killer. You're watching ATL's Alpha Team League's AfreecaTV Cup. The 8 best clans bringing you the 8 best fights. The 8 best series? I guess really with the 8 best teams we're gonna get 7 series, but it feels like 8. It feels as valuable as 8. All right, taking a quick look around, we've seen actually this is going to be our first spawning pool first out of a Zerg yet, and it does look like it was mimicked on both sides. So spawning pool first out of both Zergs. I think this is actually this is our first ZVZ of the day. Both of these players trying to bring the aggression, bring the hype. This is actually going to be. I love both these players. We're bringing you the talent. We're bringing you some really awesome matchups. 3DB, Alpha X is Star Killer. So the top players on both these teams. Looking ahead at the matchups, you're going to get to watch Lightweight versus Light. It's a light on light battle there. You're going to watch Ghost Hell versus Estrella. Estrella, another very strong contender. It's going to be a ZVP. And if we make it to game number 4, it's going to be Zipper the Fly versus Uzi Cody. Now, who both these players decide to bring up for an ace match? If I'm a betting man, we will see this game number 1, repeated again. You see Star Killer sitting out a handful of lings in multiple directions, gathering information, disguising the aggression. More lings on the way for Star Killer. Consistent production actually so far. Looks like he's done on 3 drones. 3DB noting the lack of a third base. Third base actually being scouted out there by Star Killer, but opting instead to go for a throat. Force B having to cancel that, get his money back. He kind of like realizing this attack is coming right now. But on the other hand, Star Killer really needs to pump out some damage. He gets, there we go, 2 queens for his trouble, and there it is. There's the backup. The Link's coming to looks like maybe finish this off here, spreading out the Links, taking care of the enemy Links, taking care of the increasingly devastating attack here on the drones. 16 drones. Every moment this continues, just further and further being set behind. 3DB with a handful of lings in the counterattack here. He's got to get across the other side of the map, do similar amounts of damage, or he's going to be forever behind and very vulnerable to follow-up attacks. This is kind of the last moment here. Star Killer, 2 queens in the ready, handful of lings, looking to push this back. The spine crawler gets up. It's going to be a very hard wall to push into. The ling advantage is only going to last for a few more seconds as 14 more lings left to come up. 24 to 15 worker lead out of Star Killer. He knew when to pump out the drones. A little bit of lag right there. Star Killer looks like he's going to continue to push the attack, continuing to drone up behind this at the same time, maintaining that worker lead. Now B has done nothing short of a fantastic job of getting his worker count up from 11 back up to 19 into something that keeps him into this fight. But will it be enough? Star Killer opting for both a layer and upgrades right now, pushing into the ramp. Actually, looks like he's going right for the for the natural base. Pulling at just the right moment, trying not to get surrounded here. He has the Ling advantage, but not the defender's advantage. Coming up here, opting to go into the drone line, trying to get a couple more kills for his trouble. But overall, that looks like a defended attack. Pretty well held by forestalling. He is still behind 31 workers to 19. He's going to go across. Looks like he wants to continue to find some damage on the other side of the map. The defenses here are growing, however. He's using this advantage, Starkiller using this advantage to make a transition into the Ro8 War, and double Evo chambers is really going to make this possible. This wall, this +1 upgrade, forestalling, kind of in this weird position where he's got to either transition and be a little bit behind in the Ro8 War, or find damage, find an alternate path, get up the maybe +1 melee out of these Lings. But this right now, with what he's got here, is a near unbreakable wall, and I think Starkiller knows this. He's taking this time here to pop out some more queens, pop out that road speed, really secure this mid-game threat that he's going to become. And you can see down here forestalling, popping up a third base. He knows he's got Starkiller kind of behind the wall, but he's also on a countdown. He's got to get his worker count up. He's really got to get his larva production going. He needs to have an overwhelming number of Lings and or his own larva production for roaches to just stand a fight here. And it looks like he did opt to throw down the Ro8 War, and he's not going to have the upgrade advantage. Starkiller has earned that, but he is trying to sneak out the larva advantage. Quick look back here. He is going to keep this wall, it looks like, and make this a Nidus attack. Build up those constant queen and roach productions between now and the completion of this this Nidus network, and he's in a pretty good position to pop in the back door and do and just kind of walk in and deal devastating amounts of damage. We have taken a look at the unit count: 4 queens, 5 roaches, with 2 more queens and many more roaches on the way. There's the worm. It has been completed. Nidus network being called in the main base here is going to be spotted immediately. But does it matter? Is there enough to contest it? Does he let this come and try to trade bases? Queen's maybe trying to get into position here soon. More roaches of his own on the way, but the queens are massive. The count is, what is that, 6 queens on the battlefield. The Lings that were sitting on the other side of the map trying to come back and save the day here, but that is a lot of drones piled up, actually going right for the Nidus Worm, trying to get that thing down, but the queens are going to transfuse it. It doesn't take enough health to follow. This is now a constant available path, attack path for the Nidus Worm. Everything's going to be rallied into it. This is Starkiller going for the throat. The queens march down the ramp in such massive numbers. More keep coming. He taps out B. Says GG, and Starkiller takes the match. And a decisive attack with the initial Lings, paving the way and the opening for a Nidus attack with upgraded roaches. Decisive win there from Starkiller. Our next match is going to be lightweight versus light. That's going to be a PvP. I will see you after the short break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today, right now, this moment, we're at Port Alexander. And on the bottom right-hand corner, the red Protoss representing Alpha X. It is Light. His opponent. On the top left-hand corner, the blue Protoss representing 3D Clan. It is Lightweight. And these names won't be confusing at all. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Alpha Team League AfreecaTV Cup. We're in the second series between 3D Clan and Alpha X. Game number 2 in this best of 5. Coming up next is Ghost Hell versus Estrella, and if we make it to a game 4, we'll see Zipper the Fly versus Uzi Cody. Right now, I love watching a good PvP. I tell you, because it's mirror. The meta just screams at you as you watch each of these players move down the chain of decision making. Their first couple moves, not only are their moves the same, but their sim cities usually match up pretty well. Won't surprise me if I come down here. Yeah, and that Cybernetics core is pushed just a bit back, not connecting into the double gateway opening. Both these players, on to gas. A little bit more gas being mined out of Light. That back pylon over here is going to hide the tech switch, at least just for a little bit, keep it away from the wall. I'm just kind of getting into a rhythm. A rhythm, the PvP rhythm. Now this is where we get usually that first divergence here in a good PvP. It's a Stalker. Oh, nope, never mind. It is double Stalker going into that Stargate tech. So both these players really just kind of, they got a plan, they got a path, and it's the same thing at the moment. Light looking to expand over here. Dropping, I love that. Dropping the pylon. Light, look, wait a minute. Let me get all my pylons right. So yeah, Light looking to expand. Lightweight doing what he can to stop it. And that's going to slow down production a little bit. Now, does Light go back and take his natural base as planned? And being a little bit behind, does he pump out more gateway units? That's what we're going to see here, is this Stalker v Stalker difference. That first shot matters a little bit as Light's one poor Stalker continues to chase it down. We're going to see yeah, there he is, opting instead of the expansion, kind of getting us some foresight here on what's to come. Opting to hesitate, build up a couple more Stalkers. Looks like Lightweight looking to be a little more aggressive, rallying across to the other side of the map. Or at least giving the perception of aggression as he drops that Nexus. Both players, actually I like it. Lightweight dropping the robotics bay. Being a little aggressive, checking up on the back. Yep. There's that robotics bay. Is that a full wall? Yeah, it looks like a full wall, and he was hiding a very aggressive Stalker play coming over here. And with the Warp Prism going to just round after round of, was it 3 gate, 4 gate? Well, let's count the gates. Yeah, 3 gate Stalker. Getting the warp in, maybe elevating it up to the main base, skipping that ramp entirely. Looks like exactly what he wants to do, and that's going to give him the ramp. That's going to give him kind of that initial footing. Now, there is an Immortal in play that can change everything. These Stalkers getting elevated up. A couple still left on the bottom. He wants full force here if he can get it. Depowering everything. There's another round of warp ends. This time it's Adepts on the battlefield. These Stalkers are in a fantastic position if they can find themselves to the right angle. Light could take this very quickly. Sentry shaping the battlefield a little bit there, trying to get better connections as the Immortal focus fire down. And it's going to be this Immortal that pops out here that could save the day or just fall so quickly. Another round of warp ends here, more Adepts coming down. And there's the GG. Light takes the second win for Alpha X. Alpha X is up 2-0. 0. Next match is going to be Estrella versus Ghost Hell. Estrella, a very dangerous opponent. This could be a very quick best of 5 here. We'll get right into that after this break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Repugnancy. In the top right-hand corner, the orange Zerg
Representing 3D Clan, it is Ghost Hell. His opponent. In the bottom left-hand corner, the red Protoss, it is Estrella. Within this match, you're watching game number 3 of the second series of the AfreecaTV Cup, brought to you by Alpha Team League, where the 8 strongest clans in the ATL battle it out for their share of the $300 prize pool, brought to you by AfreecaTV, Matcherino, and 24 Hour Fitness. I really do love how these sponsors in Matcherino are bringing sponsors, bringing more esports money, at this level. It's great support, kind of this grassroots support we're getting. These two players fighting it out for what might be the last game today. Estrella, if he takes this game, ends the series and pushes Alpha X into the semifinals. We'll watch that on the 25th. Both of these players have a 2-1 record for the season. Now, Alpha X has a very deep lineup. We do consistently see Star Killer compete in the ATL. Putting Estrella in, he's not one of these players where he's just like, hey, he's our last hope. He's the only guy we have left who can play. No, they have deep enough pockets. Estrella, not deep enough pocket, but deep enough lineup that Estrella is a very purposeful choice here, and he's a very dangerous opponent. Even getting out of here right now with the probe, gets the scout, steals the minerals. Estrella opting for Adept first, going into Stargate play. First Adept in the middle of the map. I love the scout here. Checks for the third base in the top location with the Adept. The small little maneuvers, keeping his information up to date. Getting over here, getting the shade in. There we go. Not a lot to see right now going on with Ghost Hell. He's opted so far to stay on 2 bases, getting speed, really macroing up. He's focusing on those minerals. Gives him access to a couple extra queens. Well, actually, I take it at third base. As I say that, that third base is building right there and almost done. Estrella, on the other hand, going for the Oracle. That first Oracle on its way. That first Oracle out. Actually, second Oracle on its way. First Oracle going across the map, looking to get some damage done. Stalker at the front wall and Adept behind it will deal a significant amount of damage and push back any but the biggest forces from the Zerg. Now this Oracle has been spotted, and the Spore Crawler already preemptively in position. At the right angles, it can get a little bit of damage done. Getting 3 kills for its trouble, getting out of there. Perfect timing. Not taking any lethal damage, at least. Getting in, getting 3 kills, backing up. And this Oracle over here, I'm going to provide high ground vision, going to push away the Overlord. And Estrella kind of just dominating the space right now. Even coming out of the wall, finishing off a couple of lings. Ooh, turning on the Oracle for it. This one ling will be a good scout. Not a lot to see that he doesn't already know, though. I guess what's not there is also as telling as what is there. So a handful of Adepts, again, warping in. And this Oracle still on top of this Overlord. I love it. Just following it, closing off, denying that high ground, hiding. Getting that vision. That Stalker is going to finish it off with that shot, and expanding down to that third base location. On the other side, though, Ghost in Hell has been macroing up super heavy. That hatchery about to finish into a layer. Looks like Roach production about to kick off in full steam with Roach speed upgrade. Really focusing on the quantities there. But 16 fully saturating the minerals here. I love this. On the third base, handful of queens ready to respond, maneuver around. And these lings over here, good catch. Going to deny one of those, maybe even... Nope, not getting the second one. It will fade in. Oracle's coming in, trying to get a second hit, getting 3 more drones for the troubles at 5 kills. A couple of lings in there when it turned on the other side of the map. So 6 drones total for the commitment to the Oracles. I love the double robotics facility over here at the third base location, being pushed away by sentries. And these lings trying to find an opening, trying to poke around. I love this. You know, Ghost is on the map, using his units, keeping a presence. Now double robo immediately moves into double immortal play, or double immortal production. And in as little as a few minutes, that's going to become a very large number of immortals, backing up whatever force Australia decides to work with. And that moment of vulnerability with this tech up is shrinking. It does look like Ghostel is going to try to capitalize on it with a small push. Roach speed about to pick up 7 more roaches on the way. These oracles staying close to the army. Not going to be a sneaky roach push, if a roach push. 7 more. About to pop out 12 more, actually. 6 more in production, 7 more popping out. These numbers climbing steadily here. Ghostel, 79 army supply to 50. It's Queen's marching across to make this an even bigger threat. The Immortals, 2 Immortals on the board, need to stay alive, need to stay relevant. The battle-shaping abilities of the Oracle denying this attack even longer. They warp around, trying to find an avenue to the second base, or the third base. Oracles get in there and, again, shape this well. They will be able to shave off a handful of roaches. Excellent play here from Estrella. And now 4 Immortals on the battlefield, completely changing the dynamic of this attack. Ghostel, which was something that was... undeniably scary threat, is now a little bit more manageable. Does look like Estrella being caught off guard a little bit as the army gets into a great position at the front wall, handing a couple of probes to it, getting some lings into the main base, and pulling the rest of the army aside. Responding to this is going to require a handful of warp-ins down at the main base, as it's actually going to require a commitment of forces. It does look like we get a little bit of a recall with some zealots in. And this engagement here, this back and forth. I love the Oracles spreading out the stasis ward, trying to map out the battlefield. But 12 drones. 12 drones going down. Australia can afford them a little bit. Still has a bit of a worker advantage, but they're just now cleaning up those lings. All right. This is shaping out to be a heck of a fight. The battlefield has been... The mines have been laid, but it does look like Ghostel going to pull back home. Transitioning, adding some Hydras, adding some more Roaches to his army, trying to be a bit of a larger threat. He is going to have to deal with 6 to 8 and growing number of Immortals. That switch in the Hydra is a pretty good one, for that. Will be a pretty good one for a bit. We'll see if Estrella transitions out of that anytime soon. There you go, Hydra speed on the way. Fully saturated on 3 bases, getting that 4th base kicked off. Anybody's fight right now. Definitely an economic advantage here. For Ghosts. As he's sitting on, taking a look at that, it was in Estrella's favor for most of the fight, pinging up there with that full saturation and knocking out a handful of probes, and the army value steadily climbing. Units lost, however. The best fights have been taken by Estrella, only losing really the biggest loss there out of the that's tack-in that took out all the probes. So really got to give it to Estrella for shaping the battlefield, taking the right kind of fights. Now this is an interesting forward nexus. Looks like he's trying to take 2 bases at once. He's that confident in his abilities to engage this fight. A handful of zealots warping in will take a brunt of the. We'll kind of block off the full force swarming of the Nexus, pushes back the Zerg, as this is kind of this positioning dance we've seen several times. Both these armies trying to find the right way to connect to this. Estrella, no stranger to the force fields, but the Zerg army so much more mobile, wrapping around, splitting the forces. Ling's gonna looks like swarm around, take out that 4th base. A great stasis ward there, capturing a large portion of that army. But these Lings coming around the back, should get a cancel out of this Nexus as the main army forces engage over here. A handful of Immortals way out of position. As this main fight takes place, the stasis warded Roach is now coming back to life, being shaved right back down. These stasis wards, these force fields, really making this the exact engagement that Estrella wants. You can see that army supply has almost flipped over. Moving back to the army, lost tab. More than double the supply and growing. Lost her out of the Zerg. Back home. Nope. Handful of Zealots warp in. Dealing significant amounts of damage to the drone line. 41 to 61 workers. Mutas have entered the battlefield, though. There's a lot of this army that doesn't shoot up. As he, again, Estrella tries to grab the forward Nexus. This is going to have to be a large commitment to anti-air to take care of this massive, just piled up, kind of like a reveal right now. These mutas were gathering in such large numbers. This is a devastating size here. Now, Phoenix is well controlled, can deal with this, but the wrong move and these mutas melt these Phoenixes. Estrella's really got to stay on top of this force, and it does look like he's going to deny this Stargate for a while here. It is going to be a switch over to Stalker warp-ins, the upgrades. The pylons actually being the target of their harassment. Now, that being said, the ground force is moving across to the other side of the map to try to get the damage done. It can, taking out mutas en route, preventing the mass rally and gather. A couple of Archons and sentries should keep this safe from a complete dive bomb of mutas, but it does look like Ghostel clamping in on it. There go the force fields. The Phoenix is jumping in on this. There's a GG, and Estrella takes game number 3 and will win it for Alpha X. Moving on to the first map of the semifinals, it will be Infinity Gaming versus Alpha X. We've seen some absolute monsters here today. Great, fantastic games. GG to both those teams. And it looks like we'll see you tomorrow for part 2. We're going to do Mickers and Bear Me versus Storm Gaming and Wolfpack. Same time tomorrow, same place. Make sure to check it out. And again, thank you to our sponsors, 24 Hour Fitness, for making this possible, for making this absolutely a fantastic series of games. We have so much in store for you. 24 Hour Fitness dropping in wants me to let you know to bring your friends, get your results your way with a free fit plan, studio classes, pools, cardio equipment, 436 locations, a network of clubs, all included in your membership. Try them for free with the 7-day pass when you complete one of their sponsor quests. If you haven't yet, go over to Matcherino page, put in that code AfreecaTV Cup, show your support, add free 50 cents to the prize pool. And again, great games, great audience. I'll see you all. Make sure I don't have anything else we need to say. Yeah. Hey, I'll see you all tomorrow. Same game time, same game channel. We got nice transition screen. And a word from our sponsors.